I have in my mind consciously made success look a certain type of way. And if it doesn't look like this way that I built in my mind, then I'm not really successful.
I don't think God is against status. God is not against us having possessions. I think God wants us to be known. God spoke to me just a few years ago, and he said the next move of God is going to be in the area of character in the world and not have character, good character. Things, notoriety and popularity and all that. I think we can have all that because one day we're going to die. And the scripture says that we're going to stand before the judgment seat of Christ. Hello, I'm Mike Moore, and this is the How to Win podcast. These podcasts are based off 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. It says, now thanks be unto God who always causes us to triumph in Christ. Tiffany.
Hey.
That's my daughter, Tiffany. She is so beautiful.
Okay, so tell the people what you said before we started about this topic.
I ain't through with my introduction.
Okay.
I'm through with my introduction.
Okay.
I get so excited. I get so excited when we do our How to Win podcast, and I hope you've been excited about it. What did I say?
You said that you was excited about this topic. You seem like you're really, really excited about this topic.
I am excited about this topic. We're going to be talking about how God measures winning.
Okay.
This is How to Win podcast.
Okay.
So we should know
how to measure it.
How to measure how it wins. So I got excited because we're going to talk about success, the world's way, and success God's way, and just a lot of questions. But what I wanted to do...
Okay.
I know I didn't ask you about this, but I wanted to do
Okay.
God's definition of success versus the world's definition of success. So I thought we can go to all these questions we got here, but I thought I want to designate you the expert to share with our audience the world's definition of success. You're going to be the one that's really communicating it.
Okay.
And I want to be the expert of God's
we can do that.
system of success, how he measures it.
Okay.
And you want to know why I chose you to do the world?
Okay.
Not because you're worldly.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like you saying I'm worldly.
It sounds like you worldly. No. I thought about you. You're more connected to me than I am.
You mean I'm more connected to what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on in terms of trends and who is this and who. Because you can name people, I'll be saying, you said, I don't know who they are, and then the trends and all those kind of things. So I thought you would be better at communicating how the world measures success.
Okay.
And I want to talk about how God measures success. And then we can, all the questions, we
can go from there.
You go anywhere you want to go. Okay.
So I feel like the world measures success in different ways. So you have different parameters in which success looks like. But if I had to choose 3 of them, I would say we're in a world of social media. Not everybody is into that, but we're in a world of social media. So notoriety and follower counts are a big thing. Your social media platforms, if you're big on that, if you're not big on that. So that is a way that I feel like now a generation is going into feeling like they're successful, is if they have a large number of followers, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram or Threads or whatever those platforms would be. So you have that generation of people.
Would that be more popular? That's what popular.
Yeah, in the social world, right? Because I feel like it's different in different environments. So on the flip side, you have where visual, being more visual is a thing of success. So, for instance, I feel like whether it be a woman or a female, in certain corporations, if you're a visual more to the CEO, or if the company sees you as of a value in some type of way, then you have that power dynamic. And so people look at that as being successful.
Okay.
So in the business world, you have people look at success as a person being a CEO.
Okay.
Or you have a person who feels like if you have your own business, that's successful.
Gotcha.
Or for men, it could be if you're in this chain, so you have where people who are attorneys are trying to be, what is it called, partners. Mm-hmm. So for them, that could be a measure of success, right?
I'm a partner now.
Right.
Okay.
So you have that area, or if you're part of the board or the chair team or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then I think that the last part that people kind of measure success is income based. Mm-hmm. So if you have this amount of money, you're considered successful. Mm-hmm. It's an elitist kind of mindset, because you have certain aspects of what people feel successful. So I'll give an example. In my opinion, I think DC and Atlanta are known for African Americans to be very successful when it comes to the income portion of it.
Atlanta and
DC.
Okay, DC.
I think that when you think of those two states, or cities, you think of highly successful Black people, or African Americans.
Okay.
And so I think you have the status part, and then you have the income part, because people live very well in those states. Okay. And so it could be a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house.
Gotcha.
It could be if you drive a luxury car.
Gotcha.
That can be considered successful. And so I think people tend to, when it comes to the income, do it to the materialistic things. So if I'm wearing the latest name brands, or if I have this certain type of car, then I'm considered to be more successful. But people don't look at the other side, or the aspect of it is that I obtain debt to get to that level of success. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the parameters. Then you also have success of what it looks like biblically, and then family-wise too. So those are the three things that came to mind first.
Okay. When I was listening to you, I heard buckets.
Right.
It's my opinion, okay? It was a possession bucket.
Okay.
Because you talked about the house, and you talked about the cars, mm-hmm. and we could throw jewelry and all that kind of purses and all that. That's the possession. But then you talked about being a CEO, mm-hmm. a partner.
Or the educational or the business aspect.
Okay, that would be positions.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another.
Or it could be like the degrees, if you have your master's and your doctorate and different things like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that would be an achievement bucket. Mm-hmm. Achievement, position, possessions.
Right.
Would you think is that popularity? Is it all of it popularity? Is it the Instagram followings? Would you put that in a popularity bucket, or is all of it popularity?
I don't know if I would necessarily put it in a popularity bucket, because people don't always necessarily want to be successful or have a high following count for popularity, as they do, you get more money.
I got you.
So the more followers you have, the more money you get, mm-hmm. or the more exposure you get to opportunities that you may not have.
I got you.
So it's a girl who I follow who started off just doing videos on YouTube, and she had the opportunity to go to the Emmys.
Gotcha.
She probably would have never had an opportunity to do that outside of growing in her following count when it came to social media. So it's not necessarily like a popularity thing, but it just open the door up for more opportunities to be seen. So I guess it is, a popularity thing.
Okay. Well, I got another question for you. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about status.
Okay.
And then I get over to the spiritual side. I mm-hmm. get over to God's side.
So when you say status, what do you mean?
Yeah. Is status? What is status in your thinking?
So when I think of status, I think of like the achievement parts that we were kind of talking about, right?
Okay.
So whether it be like I'm Dr. So-and-so, or I am attorney so-and-so, right?
Gotcha.
And again, those have different levels. So it could be, am I the president of this company, or am I this? So to me, status is usually, in my mind, I kind of think of like the name, right?
Titles and stuff like that.
So in the church environment, it could be, I am the COO, or I
Apostle,
am the, you know, that, you
Apostle,
know.
like I said,
and some people get
prophet.
offended when they aren't like addressed in that way of being that. So I think you have that so I think that each level of organizations or businesses have that status area. And I think it's also because I think that people think that status is just a business or organizational type thing, but I think that you have it in, we watched a movie not too long ago where it was a status thing of like, okay, in my neighborhood as a housewife, does my family look better than your family?
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah,
that movie we watched.
Does my family seem more successful because my kids are going here or doing this, accomplishing this? So I think you have different areas of what status look like for different people. So you can be a stay-at-home mom, but you still have a thing of like, I got to be the best stay-at-home mom, you know, status type of thing.
So do you talk to us about comparison? The comparison trap. Now that can be in church too. Yeah. But just talk about it.
So I guess the first thing that come to mind to me is just like the thief of joy.
What now?
The thief of joy.
The thief of joy.
Yeah, I feel like for me, comparison is one of those things where it's like I have in my mind consciously made success look a certain type of way. And if it doesn't look like this way that I built in my mind, then I'm not really successful. And so I think that you have, they say that when and you could ask me this, they say when you get older, when you get to a certain level of age, you don't really care about stuff like that no more. So is that a thing? Is comparison more of a thing that you would say for a younger generation than it is an older generation? Or do you think that the older generation still?
I think it's a trap, period.
Okay.
I think if your mind is not renewed, you're not going to necessarily change because you age. Mm-hmm. You're going to still have that worldview in you. Mm-hmm. So expert from the world's standpoint of...
I like how you bring in this worldly, like I'm an expert in the worldly view of things.
No, I like
okay.
I said,
Jesus said, "I am called to the world."
No, I said that because I think you're more connected to what's happening in the world.
Okay.
And you're more connected to the culture of the world. Yeah. And by that, I mean, just from an age standpoint, I'm 71, so you would be more connected to culture and the way things operate now. So I'm not saying you're worldly. I'm just saying you're more connected. Okay.
Okay. So what is the godly view of success?
The truth of the matter is everything that you said, I think God wanted us to have. You know, God is not against titles. So I think you listed three. You actually listed more than three. I want to list 5 things because we're talking about God's definition of success. And then we'll answer this question. Why do you think it's easy to tie success to numbers and recognition? Okay. But we'll hold that. Okay. I got 5 areas. Okay. That I think when you talk about God's success, God's view of success or winning, I would put faithfulness. Okay. Okay. 1 Corinthians 4, I think it's verse 2 says, moreover, it is required in a steward that a man be found faithful. So I think that you can achieve a lot of things and do a lot of things that the world would say you are successf是
Right.
But faithfulness is doing what God wants you to do. You know, it is being committed to your God-given assignments and all that. So I think faithfulness is a quality that God looks for, yet a person can have a lot of money and not be faithful to God. I think another area that is close to God's heart is character. So when we talk about character, we're talking about things like integrity.
Which is why you created the Big Pivot.
The reason I created Big Pivot. We're talking about humility. Talk about that in Big Pivot.
Yeah.
We talk about stewardship in Big Pivot. We talk about commitment and focus in a Big Pivot. But character is very important. And you can be very successful so faithfulness, character, and purpose.
Yeah.
I call these actually, I want to call them big three because the next two is important to God too.
Okay.
But purpose, okay, why did God place you on the planet? Why are you here on planet Earth? What is God's intent? What contribution does God want you to bring to the table that has to do with purpose? And so a person can go all their life and have a lot of achievements, have status in the world, and they can put your star in Hollywood, you know, and they can give you an Oscar or Emmy, and they can put you on Forbes magazine, Person of the Year, and yet you're not fulfill your purpose. You're not fulfill the purpose that God intended for you to fulfill in that thing. So 3 purpose. So there's what? Faithfulness, there's character, there's purpose. And then God is very high on serving. Serving. Now many people that are popular in the world serve.
Yeah.
So some people are hitting that one. But God is about serving. But sometimes the serving in the world is not, it's about image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about being seen.
Yeah.
You know? And so serving. And then the 5th area, I think God is big on relationships. On relationship. Because think about it, you can have status, titles, doctor this, professor this, CEO this, whatever, and just your relationships are just tore up.
Right.
You know, multiple divorces, marital infidelity, just a whole lot of negative stuff going on in your relationships. And so you got some people who have worldly success, but they're not happy. And they are not happy in their relationships, so they just have to keep going to things. So, but like I say, I think God wants us to have But if we don't have these 5 things, then to me, this is just accumulation, but it doesn't transform you.
Okay, so I was listening to you talk about a lot of the things. And so for me, I feel like when you think of success, that now boils down to identity. How do you feel like you identify in the world? And so would you say, because I feel like this is not a thing that you just become an adult and you just all of a sudden identify as this person for what success should look like. I think it starts young, parenting, I think it's like a learned behavior type of thing. So I was looking on social media the other day, and it was a little boy, and he was like, Mom, I just got the best opportunity in this play. And she was like, what? And so she named, I think it was like a biblical one. She was like, what, you're going to be Joseph, like in the biblical play? He was like, nope, better than that. And she was like, what? I don't get it. What is it going to be? He was like, I'm going to be a door holder. And so she was like, wow, that is so amazing. Like, he was super excited about it. And so when you think about that story of like the child just doing something that may seem basic, like being a door holder, but he was still excited about that. I think of like stewardship. How do you stay excited of being a good steward of things that you may not identify as the big thing, like the Joseph in the story, in the play part?
Well, it boils down to who you want to please. You know what I mean? And you know that you tapping into something when you ask, how do you stay excited about stewardship issues that others may not value or others may not even see?
Right.
Let's back up a minute and let's think about the world view of what success is. And if you look at a lot of it in the world, if not all of it, it's about external accumulation. If you put it all in the buckets, it's some external accumulation.
Yeah.
Okay. But none of this really transform you. Think about it. Money don't transform you.
Yeah.
People have a lot of money commit suicide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? External accumulation is what the world is after. External, you know, and if you think about it, it's all about me.
Yeah.
Really, it's about me. Now, there are people who accumulate and they can help others, and some do help others. So I don't want to sound like people just accumulate and they're not helping people. But if you think about it, there's no transformation there. On the other side of the ledger, God's view of success is measured not by the external. It's measured three different ways. It's measured by internal, because when you're successful, how God measures it, it's going to transform you.
Yeah.
Internal is relational. When you're successful, how God measures it, you'll have things, but you'll have healthy relationships. You'll have healthy relationships. And then it's measured eternally. The things that we do, and God says you're successful, it's going to have benefit over in eternity. Every believer can stand before the judgment seat of Christ and give an account of what we did in our physical bodies, whether it's good or bad. So over here, there are rewards to people who are successful God's way. There are going to be some eternal rewards. So when you look at it, the world, external and temporary. It's external and temporary. But what happens when you die? You know, what happens when you die? Way God measures success, it transforms you internally, it impacts your relationships, and it also benefits you in the world to come. And so, how do I measure and stay motivated over stewardship issues that people may not even be aware of or may not esteem is because it's not about people. Stewardship is about God. It's about pleasing him. And so God, the little kid that waited at the door, if that's something God wanted him to do in life, to wait on the door, then he's going to bless him in this life. God going to bless him in this life. And then God is going to bless him in eternity too, because he was faithful to hold the door. So, there are a lot of people that do things that people don't see.
Yeah.
But God sees what people are doing.
So you talked about purpose, and you talked about, I guess, what success looks like to some people. And some people, it could be like a popularity or being known. Do you think that I know you said it because you said not everybody is called to it. So for the person who is not called to where everybody sees that, what does success like that look like?
What now?
So not everybody is called to be seen like in a popular way.
I agree.
So what does success to that person, what does that look like? Because if if I measure in the world success as numbers or popularity or this and that, but you're like, well, that's not really what I'm called to. Some people can think that you're being lazy, or they can think that you're not really trying to do better.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And see here, my theology is different. Some people, when they talk about winning God's way and how God measures it, they think I'm going to be broke all my life. I'm never going to have anything. And that's why some people teach it from a theological standpoint.
Right.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that when you're faithful on this side, it translates into this. I think that God will supply all your needs. I believe that you can have an abundance in your personal life based off you living for God. Now, some people think that you may not translate in terms of being worldly popular, but you're not going to go without. Yeah. The Bible says godliness is profitable, having promise of the life that now is and in the world to come. I believe that God will bless you materially and financially, but not just that, with fulfillment by being a good steward of God's way to measure success. So I don't think you're going without because you're going God's way. No. I think it's like going from a nickel to a dime. See, you can have a nickel over here, but if God gonna give you a dime, that's more than a nickel. I think you can have and walk with God and prosper financially and materially and be very successful. Because see, when you're a good steward, you're not lazy.
Yeah.
See, that's counterintuitive. If you're a good steward, you're going to have a strong work ethic.
So how do you explain that to the person who, I'll give you an example. If you have a parent and a child, you have a husband and a wife, they have a certain measure of what success look like, right? And so if you have this thing that I'm being a good steward, but to my spouse or to my mother or to my father, it may not look successful, how then does now that person operate in life?
Well, see, the thing about it is when you're moving in success, how God measures it, then every part of your life is important. Every part of your life, God wants you to succeed at it. Right. So if it's spiritual, he wants you to grow spiritually. He wants you to walk in the fullness of plan for your life. If it's mental and emotional, he wants you to have peace and wholeness in your mind. If it's physical, he wants you to be healthy and strong. If it's financial, he wants you to prosper. In your relationships, he wants you to prosper. So in the full sense of the word, you're prospering, but you're also fulfilled. See, over on the other side, the worldly side, you can prosper and not be fulfilled. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can prosper and feel like you don't have any meaning. Mm-hmm. You're never going to feel that way when you're winning and successful God's way. You're never going to walk away feel I'm not fulfilled, I'm not happy and not that. No, it's the best life. God intends for us to live the best life. When you prosper and you win according to God's standard, you're going to enjoy what Ephesians 2:10, the Amplified Translation says, you're going to enjoy the good life.
Right. So you're speaking so I'm going to give you an example. You're speaking into okay, God told you this is what is going to eventually happen. But take me back to that moment where you told your mama, God called me to ministry, or you told mama, I feel like I'm supposed to do ministry and stuff like that, and then y'all end up moving into your mama house. How do you then help that person see that it's more about what God has called you versus what you feel like success should look like?
Well, I'll share with you this. The truth of the matter is, when your mother and I got married, she didn't marry me with the intent that I was going to be a minister. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I didn't marry her with the intent of just being a pastor. That was my goal. See, I was going to law school because I wanted to be somebody. Right. And I wanted to make a bunch of money, and I wanted to be a black peer mason. Okay, that's my mentality. You know what I mean? So my whole viewpoint at that point was worldly. I wanted status. I wanted the image. I wanted popularity. I wanted possessions. I wanted title. I wanted all that.
Right.
I had to renew my mind because, see, in my way of thinking and in your mother's way of thinking, this preaching business, we would never have anything. Yeah. So when I was in law school, when God called me to ministry, and I was thinking, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to, how am I going to make a living doing that? I mean, how am I going to be somebody being a preacher? Because, see, I had no view of success as a pastor. I had no view of it. I didn't see how I could thrive materially. I didn't think how I could prosper and stuff like that. I just moved because I love God and I wanted to please Him. I didn't move because I thought I was going to amount to anything. I didn't think I was going to amount to anything. I thought I'm sacrificing. I'm okay. I'm going to go to the cross for you. Yeah. I had no idea that God wanted me to prosper. I had no idea that He would cause and raise me up and bless me materially and give me a name and cause me to be. I had no concept of that. I was following because I love God. He told me to do something that I didn't want to do, but I loved Him enough to want to do it. But I didn't think I was going to be anybody. Yeah. In fact, I had a relative cry and said, I thought she was going to be something. Cry.
And I guess that's the thing that I'm trying to hit on, because I feel like we have all types of viewers who are watching us. And so when you have a thing where it's a husband, let's just take a husband and a wife, or even a child and parent, and they have this vision, and it starts off, so let's say a husband and wife has this vision that they're going to get this particular house. They get the house, and then because of the economy or different things like that, they lose that house. Now their view of success has been shattered. And so I guess my thing now is like, okay, now how do you refocus and now change what the success look like for you?
Okay. And I'm gonna come back to that, but I want to talk about my wife's side. My wife, for those of you who don't know her name is Kenetha Jo Moore, but everybody calls her Pete. She has a boy nickname. So if you hear me say Pete, that's who I'm talking about, my wife. She wasn't happy about me becoming a minister. I mean, she was not happy about me becoming a minister. Yeah. And see, her background, when she was growing up, they would take up money to help the pastor's kids, the preacher's kids. And so her image
Her view was different. Yeah.
We're going to be poor the rest of our life.
Right.
So she didn't want that. Well, that's because our mind, we had a worldly view of success. Mm-hmm. And because ministry to us was poverty and lack and the struggle, then we didn't want to go into it. Okay. You asked the question, well, for the economy is such, I lose my house. Okay. So now what is my view of success?
Yeah.
My view of success is the same.
Okay.
My view of success was never just a house. My view of success is supposed to be purpose.
Yeah.
The house is a thing. I can get another house. God will give me another house if I believe in for it. But if my image of success is having the house, then I have a worldly view of success.
So your view of how you helped Mom get on board with the vision that God had for you, was it through prayer? Was it through you casting the vision? Because sometimes people may not cast the vision of where you're going. How did you eventually get her on board?
It was a process.
Okay.
It wasn't, baby, you got it? No. When I decided and felt led to go in full-time ministry, we had to have a talk. Okay, we got to have a talk. Because that's not something I can do without her buy-in, okay? Because, see, that would be crazy. And so I told her, I said, Pete, I feel like God wanted me to go in full-time ministry. The church had grew a little bit and stuff like that. And it was at the point that they can basically give me a salary, you know what I mean? And she said this. She said, what do you think God would talk to me about it?
Okay.
I thought that was, I was like this. Yeah, I think. I mean, and really.
Did you know, or you just was saying yeah?
No. I wanted her to talk to God because I didn't want to do this, and she went on board. I think that would have been devastating for me to go here, and she don't want me to be here.
Yeah.
Because she thought, oh, you just want to do that. That's what her thought. You just want to do that. You've been wanting to do that all the time. You just see. So my thing was, God, you got to talk to her. You calling me to do something, I want to do it. I'm not against doing it.
Yeah.
But she's my wife.
So if God has called you to something and that person is married, he's going to speak to that person
yes,
about what
I
he's
believe
called
that
them
with
to do.
all my heart. I believe that.
So in the instance, like when God spoke to Mary, he also spoke to Joseph.
Right. I just believe God wouldn't call me and not talk to my wife about it.
Yeah.
And she just got to do it just because I said, God, talk to me. So she said that. And she got in the word, and God quickened the scripture to her. This is the Lord, and it's marvelous in my eyes. That was her rhema word. So from the moment we went in full-time ministry, we never changed. We never thought I made a mistake. She was set. Now, naturally, you got to grow in challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we weren't doubting whether or not I should be doing it because she got a word from God. But it was a process. It was not like, okay, I'm in the ministry, get it. Just get it. No, I had to walk it out. I had to learn to love her because we were struggling. I had to learn to love her for where she was because I loved her before I went in ministry. And God had to get my mind straight because I was trying to change her and all this kind of stuff. So I had to renew my mind, and then I had to love her. And then I had to prove it. I mean, it's one thing to say God said to you. There. It's one thing God said this, God said this. But over a period of time, she starts seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We struggled for a long time in ministries, but then we hit a place, and then people was coming. Man, they were coming, man.
Yeah.
And they were standing in line. And all of a sudden she's seeing it.
Yeah.
Because at first your mama didn't buy into that giving thing either. I said, let's put our money together. She said,
Because then you at one point give away, y'all had saved up some money for a house and y'all gave up y'all deposit.
Yeah. Two things happened.
When
my mama died, she willed her house to me. I sold the house. I didn't sell it. I sold it. I gave it to someone. I felt led to give.
Oh, you sold it, like you gave it to someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you said like sold. Like a seed. I didn't say S-O-L-D.
Okay.
I seeded. I gave it to somebody.
Okay. And she was mad about that?
No, she wasn't mad about it. She really wasn't mad about it.
So that's been the nature of you. You say you Santa Claus, but you've really been Santa Claus for a long time.
Listen, and so at first, we were giving, we were tithing, and then I went to her, I said, I think the Lord wants us to increase our tithe. So along the way, she was hopping on, and we went from 10% to 12%. We went from 12% to 15%.
Yeah.
Then we went to 20%. In other words, I'm going to tithe 10%. I'm going to tithe another 10%. I'm going to match it, tithe 20%. So she jumped on board. Well, over a period of time now, it's got to work. It's got to work. God got to bless this thing.
Yeah.
So we end up getting to start a house, and that was supernatural. We moved from mama's house to this little starter house we were rent, and then we moved that to a house we were buying, and God opened up the door for that. And then we moved to a house where we built the house,
right? And
we paid that house off in 6 years. So think about it. It's working.
Yeah.
So she's seeing the church grow. She's seeing us grow. And I think at some point, we got to stop just saying God said.
Yeah.
We got to demonstrate it.
That's good.
Demonstrate it. And so I'm loving her. I want a good life for my wife. I wanted her to have things because there was a time I couldn't do anything like that. So I think over a period of time, my wife saw the word work. She saw it manifest. So anytime you see something working, it's easy.
I feel like there should be another podcast topic of what does demonstrating the word working look like.
That may be a good topic because at some point it's got to produce.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to I don't want nobody to feel bad. I don't want nobody, because I went years and I didn't see a whole lot of production. So I know what that feels like to be in a church, teaching the word, and it's not working in your own life.
Yeah.
And I was teaching it, but it wasn't working in my own life.
Yeah.
But at some point, at some time, it has to produce results.
Yeah. So I want to kind of conclude it a little bit because we're at the end point. So you would say one of the key takeaways that I heard you say is that you should ask God to show you what success look like for you and maybe your family, your spouse, whoever it is, because he'll show both of you what that looks like. And then at some point, whatever it is, success, whatever form of success it is, it should be producing something.
Right. And then those are the things. What does it look like for us and our family? And then at some point it should produce. And then renewing your mind to not just the external. It's all right to have the house, the car, the title, the PhD, the partnership. It's all right to have that. But there's some eternal relational things that God is concerned about. And he's concerned about our faithfulness.
Yeah.
He's concerned about character. He's concerned about our relationships. He's concerned about us serving, and he's concerned about purpose. See, those things are internal, eternal, go over into the next life, and relationships.
Yeah.
God is concerned about those things. So if we're only measuring by the external accumulation and we're not adding these things to it, then we're just operating in worldly success.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys got something from that podcast today. As always, we thank you guys for tuning in because you could have chosen other places to or other podcasts to watch, but you decided to watch with us. So we thank you for that. Anything else you like to? Oh, make sure you share, subscribe. and keep getting the word out to other people.
Listen, we love you. This is How to Win, and we really want you to win in life. And tell somebody else about our podcast. Share it, because we want to get it out to everybody. And then let us know. Can't they let us know in the chat?
Yes, let us know down below in the comments what blessed you in this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. You can close us out.
See you all next time. Bye.